3-night versus 7-night cruise, the ultimate showdown.
Showdown.
Which is better, a short 3 or 4-night cruise or a week-long cruise? Apparently, Royal Caribbean thinks these shorter cruises are better because they are going heavy in these short cruises. Let's compare the two now. Many loyal to Royal cruise passengers are upset that Royal is going so heavy into the short cruise market. By the end of 2027, all but one of the Oasis Class ships are going to be sailing short cruises. Well, what do you think, La? Is a short cruise, what's the difference between a short cruise and a long cruise?
Short is usually 3 to 4 nights, and long is really, to me, 7 or more, but sometimes 5 or more. I like both. I think they both have merit, but we are going to compare kind of the pros and cons of each.
Yeah,
and how to pick which one you should do.
Yeah, so the main reason why Royal Caribbean is going heavy in the short cruise market, which if you search on their website, it's 2 to 5 nights long, is because they believe it's more profitable. So ever since Utopia of the Seas came out this past year, they are going heavy into that short cruise market because it's great to attract new cruisers. And one of my friends at work, he actually just booked his first cruise, a Royal Caribbean, and it's a 5-night cruise. So
that's a good amount. That's a good amount.
Perfect example. You know, you're dipping your toe in, seeing how it is, and checking it out. Now, what are some of the benefits of doing a short cruise? Well, first-time cruises, they get to try out a new ship.
Yeah, and a nice ship.
Well, they can.
A really nice ship.
I mean, every Oasis Class ship is pretty nice, and they're our favorite class ships, and they're our big ships, and they're plenty to do for everyone.
True.
Another reason why people might want to do a short cruise is because it's less time off of work.
True. Well, one of the big marketing plays with Utopia is, what is it?
The world's biggest weekend.
Biggest weekend or ultimate weekend? I forget.
World's biggest weekend.
And it really is like the best weekend. It's marketed really well because the ship lives up to the hype, the experience of the whole thing does live up to it. So if you just want to truly just get away, it is a really cool way to travel for sure.
But if you want a little bit better of a price, you might want to do a longer cruise. A better of a price, at least on a per night basis. Yeah. Because if you're doing a short cruise, the price is a little bit higher on average. So you're going to get a better price on an average per night if you do a longer cruise, traditionally speaking.
And something else to really consider right now, especially with the increased prices in airfare, if you choose to fly, is, okay, if I'm only going to be gone three days, maybe 4, if you do our recommendation of coming in 1 day early, okay, is it worth the flight to only be there that short of a time? Or do I really want to be somewhere at least a week for the amount that you're paying in airfare? Right,
but it also might be a booze cruise if they're the shorter sailings. Now, people always say it's like, hey, these shorter sailings are booze cruises. Royal's turning into the Carnival now cruise line. But think about it. I feel like you can, if you don't drink, we don't drink, you can find places where it doesn't feel like a booze cruise.
No. I will say in our time on Utopia, I'm just using that one as the example because that's one of the ones we went on.
And it's the world's biggest weekend.
And it's the world's biggest. It was not that way at all. And we did enough of the entertainment to kind of get a feel for it, but we're not big partiers, so we weren't going to all the parties, but I never felt like, oh my goodness, this is insane. It was never like that. You still get the true Royal experience, the service, the atmosphere. It's not a carnival. I'm allowed to say.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can certainly seek that out and look at the app and go to the pool deck at night, or during the sail away party and the college toga party in the night. But it doesn't have to be like that.
They have a good balance.
Now, if you want a shorter cruise, one of the better things also might be, it's like, hey, if you do a shorter sailing, you might have time to do a land vacation before or after and take the same amount of time off work. Utopia is trying to compete with, like Disney, for instance, and they're thinking these 3 and 4 night cruises, you go to Disney first and you go somewhere else. Actually, one of our cruises coming up here at the end of September, we are doing a vacation before the vacation.
Yeah.
Because we booked a 5-night cruise, which is a short cruise according to Royal Caribbean. But the nice thing about that is for us is like we have to fly.
Yeah.
So we're flying to a different destination, then flying to a cruise port, then flying back home. But really it's kind of cheaper in some respects for us because now we have one less flight segment. So there's that. So a shorter cruise, you can still do a land vacation before, or maybe you do something else special in Florida if you're flying to Florida. And of course, if you wanted a longer sailing on an Oasis Class ship, you could just do back-to-back, one might say.
Back-to-back is not a bad deal if you're okay going to the same places. Now, I will say for us, we have purposefully booked cruises that hit Perfect Day, Coco Cay twice, especially early on in our cruising, because let's be real, if you're already on a budget, to me, those stops are the best stops because you don't have to spend a single penny. You can literally have the entire day be completely free. So for us, it's like, I want to go to Coco Cay because I can have a beach day, go to the pool, have food, all the stuff, have a chair and umbrella without paying for it for nothing.
Yeah, you said that perfectly. Like, we've actually, like Mrs. Tipp says, we've seeked out 2 stops at Perfect Day. And part of that reason is because it's perfect. And the other reason is no cost. But also, that destination has an 80% guest satisfaction. And that is why Royal is also having so many ships stop there. The same itinerary, going back to back. Same stopping at Nassau. And then once when they have the Royal Beach Club in Nassau, and then the Royal Beach Club in Mexico, and then the new Perfect Day at Coco Cay, but not Coco Cay, but Mexico, Perfect Day Mexico. They're gonna have, every ship is gonna be going there. So it's gonna be a lot of the same itinerary. So that might not be good. That wasn't, but what?
But, because the ships are so awesome, you have the decision to spend part of your day or the entire day just enjoying the ship.
Yes.
That's another benefit.
You said that perfectly. Like, you can just stay on the ship, have the ship to yourself, because so many passengers will be out. And when the ship is the destination, like your Oasis Class ships, your Icon Class ships, I can't think of a better time to do that than when you've already been at a port a couple different times, or you're doing a back-to-back. Now, downside to doing a back-to-back is if you don't get the same room, number one. Number two, the crew have to work harder because they have to flip the same room and flip the whole ship. But of course, Royal Caribbean is gonna make more money. And yeah, you could say they're greedy, they're really greedy, they're a billion-dollar company making all this profit, but let's be real, guys. They're trying to please us, they're trying to please you as the guest, but at the end of the day, they have to answer to the shareholders. And so if you like them making money, if they're making lots of money, maybe it's time we invest in their stocks, or if their prices are getting too high, maybe it's time we look at a different cruise line. Let me know in the comments below. Have you looked at a different cruise line?
Are you loyal to Royal?
So this is all going to start taking place in fall, winter of 2026. So if you're looking at spring 2026, you still got 3 Oasis Class ships to check. Also, remember that you have Star of the Seas coming out this August. You have Legend of the Seas coming out a year later. So you're going to have added capacity. So yes, that's one of the reasons why we haven't done a Icon Class ships yet, is because of how expensive it is. And the Oasis Class was a nice happy medium. Like, we get a great ship, good value. But the Icon Class has been too expensive. Maybe this will keep the prices a little bit more level. And I don't think they're gonna go down. But and I don't think they're gonna do short cruises to let us try them. That would be really different.
That would be different.
But maybe an Icon Class ship is what we try if the prices don't keep on rising. Or, like we just said, maybe it's time to look at a different cruise line. And full disclosure, I actually just looked at one yesterday. We can get a 4-night cruise on a different cruise line for less than $800 for both of us, not including tips, out of Florida. Can you guess what cruise line that is? Let me know in the comments below. But remember, you can still get a great deal on Royal Caribbean if you just go down to like the Freedom Class ships. And this video here will show you how we got a great deal for $59 a night on a Freedom of the Seas ship this past year. I'm Brian.
And Mrs. Tips.
Tips for cruisers. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you over in this video here.